This episode, we're going to talk to someone who has been an MC or a celebrant for over 1,400 weddings.
So naturally, we want to know all the things that went wrong, that went right, all the things that were memorable, and get some tips on how to make speeches as easy to deliver as possible.
All loved up and ready to propose? Or maybe you're searching for the perfect wedding ring. My Jewellery Shop are your engagement and wedding ring experts. At My Jewellery Shop, it's your time to shine. Gold Coast Highway, Nobby Beach, and myjewelleryshop.com.au. Moira Major and Nikki Amos.
We pronounce you unfiltered. Welcome to another episode of We Pronounce You
Unfiltered.
Beautiful. Moira and Nikki. Nikki, registered celebrant. I'm well and truly on my way. Come on, Attorney General's office.
Please,
come on. Apparently the police check is taking forever.
Oh,
God knows
what
that
have you
means.
done?
Well, hopefully nothing. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Now, this podcast is all about looking behind the veil of weddings. So all things weddings, celebrancy, of course, MC, music, flowers, everything else. So today you've organised a guest for us called Jeremiah Hartmann.
Yes.
And he is
a MC/celebrant.
Okay.
He's been in the industry for over a decade.
Yep.
He's done in excess of 1,400 weddings or
Wow.
been involved with.
Yeah.
So I think he'd be a great person to
I hope he's
get
got some cracker
juicy
stories.
goss.
Yes. I want to hear about the most unhinged bride he's ever had in the ceremony. And the worst speech. I want to hear the worst speech from the father of the bride. Although it could be the best as well.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm sure he's heard some good ones as well.
Well, it is a big, warm welcome to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, thank you so much for joining us.
My honour. Thank you. Thank you for having me and this opportunity to have a chat.
So how many weddings are you up to as a celebrant or as an MC or both?
Yeah, look, I believe I've clocked over 1,400 since this time when I first began hosting in 2011.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. There's a whole library of imagery that comes that it all kind of blurs all together as well.
Yeah, definitely.
It absolutely would.
Well, on this podcast, we would like to pick your brain for some of the most inappropriate, fun, sad, depressing, amazing things that have happened over those 1,400 weddings.
Yeah, happy to.
So when did you actually become a celebrant?
I became a celebrant during COVID lockdowns.
Right.
And they were still having ceremonies. And I know a lot of my colleagues who were celebrants, even before COVID happened, were saying, why aren't you a celebrant now? You should be a celebrant now. And I was dragging my feet through that. And because it involved me sitting down and having to do a course.
Work, yes. Study,
And
yes.
that's really how it was. I was like, oh, gosh, I've got to do this. And I'm very glad that I did. I completed that course. And the very first wedding I hosted was it was an easy one. It was my friend's wedding.
Nice.
Oh, perfect.
And I was very I was so fearful I was going to make a wrong note in the record somewhere, as you do when you're at the beginning. That was one of the things but now it's very easy. All those things that I thought were very difficult and impossible and I'll mess it up weren't there.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
So how many do you actually do as a celebrant and the MC? Is that sort of a regular occurrence where you're doing both?
Yeah, now it is.
You're as a package
now
deal
it is.
now.
It's a great value add to have a celebrant MC package.
Yeah.
I call it the vows to wow.
Nice.
Perfect.
Right. So it's from, and look, the skills are transferable. They're very transferable. And the fact of the matter is the first role of a communicator I was taught, is to make the listener comfortable, to make them want to lean in. And so it's a no-brainer. I find couples find the value in having someone who can convey that story and translate that throughout the whole day. And it is rewarding. It is a long day. I won't lie.
It's a long day.
Yeah, a very long day.
And there's a lot more involved with putting together a ceremony and then putting together a run sheet and then coordinating with the vendors. And so putting together two of the things that I do into a whole day. That being said, it's very rewarding. It's actually really
There's a massive
enjoyable.
gap though, isn't there, between that ceremony and when the reception starts? Is that moment you're like, should I just go and come back? Because
there's true.
Yeah.
I'd say 20% of those fall into that category.
Yep.
which will be, do I go? And only like last month, I had a scenario where the ceremony was it like 1:00, right? And then the reception was later as you start. It's like 6:00.
Yeah.
So it was only 20 minutes from home. So I came home.
Yeah.
And walked the dogs with the kids.
Wait, gotta go back.
Yeah, like it's like from like business mode back to dad mode.
Yeah.
And back to business mode again.
Because you don't want to be that creepy person just hanging out by the buffet. That's the thing.
That's
and
right.
when I do that, it's the weirdest feeling because you're like, everyone knows you've done the ceremony, and then they look at you and they go,
What are
"Oh,
you
you're
still
still
doing?"
here,"
Yeah.
and it's like, "Yes, I'm doing the next bit," and then I'll do the next
right.
bit, and then it's like, "No, I'm not the creepy aunt who's getting free drinks from the bar."
I've learned to frame it at the end when I sign off on the ceremony. I said, "Hey, we're going to be doing this and that. You have some drinks over there, and I'll be seeing you soon."
Nice.
At the reception. So it's not like, "Oh, you're here."
Yeah.
What's going on? Like they kind of
He's drinking all the drinks. What's going on?
yeah.
He's at the bar.
It's as I mentioned, it's really rewarding going through that process. Majority, as I said before we on a tangent, that they will be likely enough to have a ceremony on site and the reception on site.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And it's an easy sort of like segue from there. They'll do their photos and guests will do their drinks and then there's that guy again. Sort of thing. So,
Here comes the creepy uncle.
yeah.
Oh, he's got another microphone.
Yeah.
So at weddings, Jeremiah, there's always times where there's that uh-oh moment. Something's gone awry.
Yep.
Let's say, what's one of your most memorable one of those?
Ooh, I'd say, one was there was a stroke. Medical emergency, a stroke.
Get out.
Yeah, a stroke. So as you imagine at a reception.
Okay, so the wedding was done. Okay.
The wedding was done. Is at the reception. They were having speeches. It was, as you'd imagine, people leaning in, watching speeches. The staff are finishing clearing the plates. And on the family table, there was someone who looked visibly like something wasn't right.
Right.
Right. And as when something like that happens, it's quite contagious because everyone else is noticing, drawing attention away from the person doing the speech to something's going on. And it was quite obvious that he wasn't in a good state.
Yeah.
And so the person who was speaking stops, looks at me and going, "What do I do now?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I handed me the microphone, and I've learnt in this space that it's good to call out, even though it's very obvious, but to call out there's something going on here.
Yes.
So look, I remember saying it, look, there seems to be a medical emergency on one of the tables up here. And that person now was on the floor and there was someone tending to them. And luckily that the person on that table was a GP.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow.
Right. And so someone else was making a phone call to the ambulance, and naturally people standing up, they want to crowd around and the whole atmospherics have just been, muddled because you've got this going on.
Yeah.
And I remember that the bride and groom, they, like, what's going on here? And I had to say, like, I went to the DJ, I said, "Can you just put some really low key appropriate music, right? Just so we don't have this dead air."
Yeah.
And then the staff were, they called the ambulance. And then I remember calling out, saying, "Hey, look, we've got a big disruption going on, but let's just give it a bit of space. Looks like someone's already knowing what to do here, and ambulance is being called. So everyone just, we'll just hold point while this happens." And it wasn't long. It was only like within 15 minutes that ambulance comes. So as you'd imagine, the wailing sirens come down the street and the paramedics come up. And I was like, "What did you say?" I said, "Well, let's give a round of applause for our paramedics."
Yes.
And then they collapse the stretcher and all the sounds and the visuals of what you'd expect. And then they wheel them away and the sirens go. And I remember the bride and groom went into like a bridal suite.
Yeah.
And I said they will look visibly like she was really upset.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
It's
Like,
their
what do
family
you do
member.
here?
Something's happened. Yeah. Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Right? And naturally, any human in that room would feel the same feelings.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, what do we do now? I don't know. Do we go? Like, do we stay? Right? Is it awkward if we leave? And I asked, like, "Where are you at?
Yeah.
What's happening?" And she says, like, "This is just unfair." And I said, "Yeah, it is unfortunate, but remember that person survived.
Yeah.
If they had a stroke at home, it was a grandparent or something
Yeah.
at home and no one saw them."
And you know what? They would want them to continue, you know, and
It is a
and
tough crowd, though. It's a tough crowd to get that energy back,
Yeah.
particularly
It
after the
is.
paramedics and the ambulance.
How did you get the energy back?
Well, I asked, what would you like to do now? What do you propose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because I said we're now this far into the night, and we still got these things that you want to still enjoy.
Yeah.
If it was just wave your hand, what would you imagine? She said, I just want us to have the day that we wanted to have.
Oh, bless.
And I said, let's go. She said, how are you going to do that? I said, well, you've just given everyone permission.
Yeah. To kick on.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's your word.
Yeah.
It's not like I come in and go, okay, everyone's going to
Pretend like nothing
they gotta go,
happened.
This guy,
cool your
he's
jets,
got
Turbo,
he's got no empathy.
So like coming back, they came back from the bridal suite. They're back in the room and they had the bridal party all seated. And I got on microphone again and I said, hey, welcome back.
Yeah.
Okay, as you can see now, bride and groom have returned. It's been a really, insane set of, in the last 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And you can imagine if it was your wedding day, how you'd feel.
Yeah.
Watching all of that unfold when you had all these hopes and dreams of what the day would look like. And look, on permission of whatever, I can't remember their names, right? But on permission of the bride and groom, they've invited you to acknowledge that, yes, something has happened, but we're going to continue on.
Yeah.
I said, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
And the room went, yeah, let's go. Because everyone was just waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
So how are we
And
gonna-
also having the acceptance, you gave them acceptance to actually continue to enjoy the day. That's the
Yeah.
thing, by saying the bride and groom had said, let's move forward, everyone would have just gone, oh, thank God. And everyone's
That's
okay.
right.
And let's keep going.
Everyone's okay.
Yeah.
And that's the permission slip. It's like, being a conduit
Yes.
between, them and their guests. And so that was pretty
Intense.
Oh, that's
Intense.
very
Yes.
intense.
yeah. So that's one of the standout ones I
Yeah.
can remember. Another one, which was there was a blackout just before the ceremony's finished and we're going inside and then boom, the lights go out.
For
And I
how
remember
long?
it was a very hot day. It went out just before we started the reception. Luckily, get this, the DJ had like a lived not too far, and in his garage he had
Generator.
a battery, so to power up things, and so the kitchen could still operate. They could still operate. So they're saying, look, we're on emergency power, but the kitchen still runs, but everything is blacking out. There's no PA system. And again, we had to break that to the couple and say, "Hey, this is what's happened. There's this blackout." And then
Anyone want to get up for some karaoke?
Well, that actually happened. That actually happened to my husband's first wedding. It should have been a really good, idea that it wasn't going to last. But there was a massive blackout as well, and that was just getting it back. To, they did the candles, they did everything like that.
Yeah.
But we look at it as maybe it was a sign. But anyway, whatever.
Definitely.
Well, it's just like it's like life condensed into a day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. It's about like there's a reality that there are many things that the outcome we can't control.
No.
We just can't. But we can do our best to influence that outcome. Right. And it's about leveraging the idea that people in that room, they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
No.
And that's one of the biggest feelings that causes this discourse in the room, because no one knows what's going on and what's happening here. Like, imagine you boarding a plane for like a 16-hour flight.
Yeah.
And you're getting on, and it's a very nervous time, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're getting on, know what you're doing, sitting around these people you don't know about.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to see them ever again. And, they probably annoy you, right? And then you're going to get in this flight, and you hope that when that process is calm. That's why airlines always have music
Yeah.
when they're boarding, right? Because it's like the most stressful time for passengers. and then imagine just the staff being chaotic and just panicking, and the voice of the pilot squeaking as you say, okay, we're all gonna, and you'd be like, this is gonna be terrifying. And that's what makes people fearful, is just there's no certainty of what's going on.
Yeah.
So whenever there's someone in my role again is to call it out and say, hey, it appears that we've got this going on.
Yeah.
Right. And to then put it into their mind, imagine it's your wedding day and you get everything, and then you got a blackout. What are we going to do? I said, don't worry, we've got this and that and that.
Oh,
And we'll
lucky.
be starting at 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to make sure we start the night just as much excitement and enthusiasm as you'd expect in any other day.
Yeah.
Right. And I say, can we rely on you to do that? I always give that permission to the room. The room goes, yeah, sure, let's do it. And then so we started, and only after we all sat down and had our first meal, the lights poof went on and everyone cheered. But you don't know how long that's going to last.
No.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Thank you, Jeremiah, for sticking with us. Now, we obviously would like to hear from you a bit more since you've done so many weddings. We're going to question you about the most hilarious or surreal things that you've seen at a wedding. Well, a massive welcome and thank you to our new sponsor, which is wonderful, My Jewellery Shop. Of course, maybe, if you are listening to this podcast, you're all loved up and ready to propose, but maybe you haven't got the ring sorted yet.
Yes. Drop down to the shop to find the perfect, most unique ring for you.
Now, My Jewellery Shop, and I've, this particular business has been around for years, and they are absolutely engagement and wedding ring experts.
Yes.
They know exactly what you need. I think a lot of men would go in there and go, I want like this with like this attached to it and something square but pretty, but and I swear they can speak man. It's amazing.
They have a stunning collection of rings. They're locally designed and made, and with perfectly cut diamonds sourced from all around the world, including GIA certified, Australian Argyle and lab created diamonds.
At My Jewellery Shop, it is your time to shine. Gold Coast Highway, Nobby Beach, and at myjewelleryshop.com.au.
All loved up and ready to propose? Or maybe you're searching for the perfect wedding ring. My Jewellery Shop are your engagement and wedding ring experts. At My Jewellery Shop, it's your time to shine. Gold Coast Highway, Nobby Beach, and myjewelleryshop.com.au.
What's the strangest request you've had from a bride and groom, either ceremony or reception?
Okay. Strangest request.
I've had French bulldog bridesmaids, but anyway, you go.
Ooh, wow. Okay. Wow. All right. Okay. Here we go. The groom was a guitarist, and there was a Foo Fighters song, that he wanted to play the guitar as he was walking in for introduction for his reception.
Okay.
So they had the song playing, and he wanted to play the guitar over the top as he was going in. And there were a lot of moving parts there.
Yes.
Right? He was tuning his guitar, and there's a song, right, and all this and that. And it kind of worked. It kind of worked.
Kind of.
Right? I mean, the joke was that he had to do a lot of convincing to compel his wife to say, babe, stay with me. You know how I like guitar. Can I come into the room at our reception with me rocking it out on guitar? That's the most vivid one I can remember.
What about the most hilarious situation you found yourself in where you just go, I can't
most
believe it.
Hilarious.
Have you ever had, Moyes, one of your people say, when you're saying lawful wedded and they say, call them awful?
Yes, awfully wedded. Yes, that's a regular thing.
That's a regular.
Yeah.
It is a regular because your brain is jumping on what to say.
It's not written correctly, as in it is written correctly, but it's all vowels all together, which makes it incredibly difficult for anyone to do.
I'm no digressing, but I print that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I print it out in size 20 fonts.
Yes.
With the
capitals and all in colours.
Awful.
Yeah, this is your bit, this is my bit.
Yeah, that's right.
On your Instagram, actually, it did say something about one of the father of the brides was an absolute legend and he did a great speech at the reception.
Yes.
Tell us about the great speech. Do you remember?
Yes, it was actually a co-worker.
Oh, okay.
So get this. So the father of the bride was a co-worker.
Nice.
He's now just become a celebrant. He's an MC.
Fabulous.
And his name is Frank. And I had the honor of being, he gave the nudge to his son and said, hey, I know a really good MC to help you on your day. They had a religious ceremony where they wanted an MC.
Yep.
And it was great to see a perspective when you see someone, which is family, matters of the heart, are serious. Yes. And when you see someone who's compelling a room not in their role as an MC but actually as a father, it was really touching because you see just another layer down from someone and they're talking about something. And also, you mentioned we're all parents, and I've got two boys under 4, and it's
fun.
I see.
Fun in your
party
house.
Party times, and knowing. Pray tell, inevitably they may arrive at that point as well, and I might arrive at that point.
Yeah.
And so only in the last, since my children have been born, I've put a lot more of a lens on understanding a parent.
Yeah.
And
the importance of that moment as well. Just
yes.
how do you, like you said before, and I loved what you said, it's a lifetime in a day.
Yes.
As in, how do you put all of that? I mean, it's easy on the outside because we can take the information and go, all right, this is how you met, this is how you did it, this is how you probably did, this is what you love about each other, blah, 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 blah. But for a father or a mother of the bride and groom, it's that moment of getting it right because it's such a huge moment, not only for your child, but for you as well as a parent.
You kept those bloody kids alive.
Yes.
And,
And now you're heaving them off to someone else. No, I'm kidding.
And I reflect on that a lot more.
Yeah.
Like when I meet parents on the day of the wedding and I shake their hands, I know their kids were once the age of my kids.
Yeah.
And knowing not everything, but knowing a little about just what life's like being a parent of young kids, there's much more appreciation and understanding that they would just that gratitude, love, and appreciation.
Yeah, beautiful.
That they have is of course I wouldn't think that way before being a parent.
No.
Just a different dimensional perspective. Right? And I think that's enriched that as well. With your emceeing as well, do you help the bride, the groom, the father of the bride, whoever the groomsmen do their speeches? Do you give them what are some of the tips that you give them to get through their speech? Because a lot of the time either they've drunk too much, that's one thing, no
or they're
drinking.
They're that nervous, like a leaf.
They look like they're drunk. Yes.
Like exactly. When I meet them before the reception starts, have a little sort of prep talk and say, okay, this is how we're tracking and how we're looking for starting, and let's put some names, some faces, and confirm, okay, who's doing speeches, how are you, where are you at right now? Have you got something prepared? Is it on your phone? Is it on a piece of paper? Is it in your head? Right.
Let's hope it's not.
And then they'll say, they might look, they'll say they're nervous. And I will say, it's just, for me, I always remind them of a few things. Firstly, it's a conversation, not a performance.
Nice.
Right. Because when we put our mindset of it being a performance, we feel that if we make an error, it's a performance error.
Yes.
Right. And like, I don't know, you're performing a role in a sporting field and you knock the ball on, or you drop the ball, I'm a big error, and everyone saw it happen. Oh my God. But if it's a conversation, we're having a conversation, and I'm sure I've slipped up a few times on what I said, but you just get on with it because it's just a conversation, and it takes the sting out of it. Or even saying things like, it's not a speech, see it as a toast.
Yeah, nice.
It takes the sort of, I don't know, for some reason,
Bit of a formality.
like it's like saying there's different words that describe the same thing.
Yes.
Like, for example, body parts. Your doctor will call one thing, and you might call it another, but it has a totally different essence of what
phalange.
it is.
Apparently, the feet, toes, or fingers or something.
It's the same thing, right? So it's like, how do you change the keep the essence? You're communicating, but just call it a toast. It takes the whole pressure and stress out of that. I also remind them to remember that if they're waiting for the nerves to go before they start, they will never start.
No.
All right. Sometimes we all have to do things when we're not comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's just one of them. Sometimes also, like, if they are emotional, they might think, oh, I'm afraid I might get emotional. And I say, that's again a biochemical response to saying something very profound, and you're declaring it. You're not just mumbling it, you're actually declaring something to be so.
Yeah.
And that's when the heart sort of resonates with that in a way. But I've learned something that if you remember at school, when someone had a nosebleed, they always keep their head up.
Yep.
Right. And so, when they're looking up, just pause for a bit, because somehow it stops the flow of whatever fluid's coming out of your face.
Stop
the flow.
Look at the roof.
Doing my dad's eulogy like a couple of years ago, and I remember it was going to happen, of course, right? And just that, I drank my own bathwater. It worked.
And what do you think about, Nikki and I are very different on this. What do you think about ChatGPT and AI when it comes to speeches and ceremonies?
Yep, good. So I use ChatGPT to help linearize my thoughts.
Right. That's the same as you, Nikki.
That's how I do it too.
Yeah. So if I've got I'll do a big voice to text.
Yeah.
All right, I do a brain dump in segments.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. It's okay. And so just like identify some key areas here. all right, good. And I need to find a story arc.
Yep.
Or I need to find something that's going to create narrative traction in a story.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'm just reading
A script.
in
Words.
chronological,
Yeah.
right? And so that helps me. Actually, it helps me in every department of my life, not just in this. So I also say to couples, if you're going to have a framework of what it is that you want to follow in putting together your speech. It's a good leverage.
Yeah.
It's a good leverage.
Yeah.
Right. But then you can also hear when it's just been a copy paste.
Straight spit out.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And you know it's not them. You go, that doesn't sound
but
like
it's I find it's helped me a lot in not the creative aspect, but just
linear.
Us being creative people.
Yeah.
It's like catching the butterflies. It's sort of like, brings it all together. Otherwise, it just kind of meanders around a lot.
Yeah.
So that helps me.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure and of course, how can people get in contact with you if they're looking for a wedding celebrant or a wedding MC?
Yes, on jeremiahhartmann.com.au is my website.
Beautiful.
Or my Instagram handle is Jeremiah Hartmann with a double N.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. It's been great to chat.
Thanks for having me on, and hopefully we got some value and enrichment on this game.
Jeremiah was great, wasn't he, Moisey?
Deep.
Yes.
Very deep.
Lots of info.
I liked that. All right. Well, that was a great episode and some great tips from him as well. I really liked what he said about the nerves as well. If you're waiting for the nerves to go, you're never going to start.
Yes.
That's actually very cool. Next episode, I found the most unhinged things people have ever seen or experienced at a wedding.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Oh, yes. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All loved up and ready to propose? Or maybe you're searching for the perfect wedding ring. My Jewellery Shop are your engagement and wedding ring experts. At My Jewellery Shop, it's your time to shine. Gold Coast Highway, Nobby Beach, and myjewelleryshop.com.au.
Woodwork Podcasts.